Hello, and welcome to this lecture on commas. The reason I've decided to spend more time with commas is, in my experience working with EFL learners, the usage of a comma is a major problem that I see repeatedly throughout essays. So we're going to spend a lot of time this week working on commas. And this is the first presentation on commas. Your book also provides some good examples, and I've assigned you some homework. So let's begin. Introduction of commas. A comma is a punctuation mark. It indicates a need for a pause in a sentence. I think of it as when I see a comma and I'm reading something, I take a breath. If I was giving a speech and I was reading from a script, when I would see a comma, I would pause and take a breath. What it does is it helps clarify the meaning of a sentence. When we put commas in a series, we place commas between, we place commas between a series of 3 or more nouns, adjectives, or verbs. The sentence above contains a series of 3 nouns. So we have a comma after each noun in the series. You see, after nouns, after adjectives, and after adjectives. So we have 2 commas here. So we place commas between a series of phrases or clauses. So let's try this one. Practice 1. Where would you place the commas in this sentence? I'll give you a second. Okay, let's take a look here. The lions, tigers, and bears growled loudly at Dorothy. You notice again, the comma is after each noun in the sentence. Remember, remember from grammar class, nouns are just simply persons, places, or things. You should remember that. Okay. Where would you place, this is a little more difficult, where would you place the comma in this sentence? Dorothy stopped, looked, and ran. Give you a second. Sorry. Okay, let's look. The comma is after each verb in a sentence. He stopped, looked, and looked. Verbs. Remember what verbs are? Action verbs. So again, we have 3 or more we have 3 verbs, so we need commas. Let's move on. Where would you place the comma in this sentence? Again, a little different. The vicious, desperate, but starving animals gave up. And these are adjectives. So we're going to need to put comma after each adjective in the series. Remember, animals is our noun. Starving, vicious, and desperate describe how the animals are. So they're adjectives. As you see again, after vicious and after desperate, after each adjective in the series. Now for every rule in English, of course there are exceptions. And we have some special cases. We use commas to separate adjectives that provide an equal description of a noun. And we have a little 3-part test we have to look at before we decide if we need a comma. Can the adjectives be reversed without changing meaning? Can you put an and between the adjectives? If so, we have to have a comma. So let's try this one. Would you use a comma in this sentence? Each of the 3 little pigs built a house. Let's try our test. We would not say, little 3 pigs. We can't reverse them. So that's not okay. We would not say 3 and little pigs. If we had an A and C, it doesn't sound right. So we come back to no comma. Let's try this one. Would you use a comma in the sentence, the big bad wolf came to the door? Let's look at that. So let's think about it. Okay. We would not say bad big wolf. See, reversed, it's not okay. We would not say big and bad wolf. Again, we add the and it's not okay. So again, we come back to no comma. So let's try one more. Would you use a comma in this sentence? The frightened, shivering pig asked, "Who's there?" Let's look at this one. We could say shivering, frightened pig. So it's reversed, so it's okay. We could say frightened and shivering pig. So given we meet these two tests, we use a comma here. Sometimes the order of the adjectives is important. Number comes first, size comes next, color comes next. 3 little pink pigs. You see number, size, color. Because the order should not be changed, they cannot be reversed. So we don't put a comma. So memorize this order. Number, size, age, color, material. These should not be reversed, so you don't need a comma. In a summary, this is only part 1. Use commas to separate a series of nouns, adjectives, or verbs. Remember, adjectives do not take a comma. Sometimes adjectives do not take a comma. And use commas to separate the series of phrases or clauses too. Okay, thank you very much and have a nice day.